Great day, everyone. I'm so happy you guys are here. My name is Raquel May David, and I am your host for tonight. And my co-host, my amazing co-host, is David Sanchez. We were meant to be together, David and David. Okay, all right. David. And our moderator, as always, is the amazing JM, who is going to be in the chats. Okay, so if y'all got questions, and y'all are like, I need to know what's going on. Let me drop my questions. I am telling you right now, my admin is second to none. Okay, so JM and David will be in the chat, making sure that we dip and do this correctly, and everyone is getting what they need to be a beast in these credit streets. As always, I love to go ahead and make sure that I can see you guys' smiling faces. I'm hoping that you guys are at your computer. If you are not, do not fret. You will be able to see the replay. So we're going to drop 3 links in the chat in a moment. The first link is going to be to this wonderful Dispute Panda community. Can you guys see my screen okay? David, you can see my screen? See the community?
Yep.
Cool. All right. Cool beans. Thanks. So the community is what I love to start with, because if you have questions, concerns, comments, hot topics, whatever you need, the community is where we want you to go for like-minded people who are looking to also be a beast in these credit streets with you. So if you have a question, you're looking for your tribe, you're already using the software, or you're thinking about using the software, I'm hoping that if you're here tonight, it's because you have either already gotten the software or you are about to get the software. So for those of you that are coming in that are old school, that are coming in for the new updated flow that we're going to cover later on tonight, welcome back. For my people that are coming that are new, welcome to the room with me. I like to make sure that you guys are comfortable enjoying the ride. And if you have any questions or concerns, you guys have the ability to go ahead and chit chat with me. Okay. So let me go ahead and do that. So with that being said, let me put on my do not disturb. We are going to get into it. I like to start my night off with a wonderful icebreaker question. Sometimes it's personal, sometimes it's about business, but it's a great way to get to know everyone and for all of us to be able to connect, right? So while you guys are coming into the room, for those of you who already have the Dispute Panda software, you've already signed up, you've already logged in, you have done all of the things, okay, for this wonderful, world most advanced and effective AI-powered credit repair software that we are going to tell you how you can keep it free 99 on today. If you already have the software, I want you to drop me some pandas, okay? I need to see pandas. I need to know who's in here that already has the swimwear. Y'all remember that back in the day? In there like swimwear. Don't I know I'm showing y'all how old I am. Don't worry about it. My daddy's older. Don't worry about it. So for you guys that are in here and have the panda, thank you, Mr. Jason Jordan. Good looking out for letting me know you already have it. For those of you guys that do not have the software, we are going to drop the link in the chat. We're going to go through some overview on the main blogging page. We are going to dive into actually what the pricing structure looks like. We're going to dive into actually signing someone up on today. And hopefully that someone is you. If it's not you and you have a client because you're doing this as a business, definitely make sure you have all of their documentation together. We're going to cover documentation. We're going to enroll your client, enroll in the software, enroll your first client, and do your first round of letters. Once we are done, y'all, we are going to dive in with the new workflow that Dominique just dropped on us in the community. I need some emojis for those that already saw the workflow in the community. Anyone saw it? You all can come off of mute. Y'all can chit chat. We have a lot of people coming in tonight. I love that. Did anyone see the new flow that came out that talks about the actual credit bureaus and the secondary agencies as well? Let me close this. Let me know if you guys did see it. Drop an emoji in the chat for me to know. Anyone that wants to come off mute before we get started, let me know. I'm actually going to start at 8:07. I like to give people time because we have a lot of people that come in and come out. And just for heads up, we are here every Monday and Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Central, for my Texan people that's here with me. So I see no emojis in the chat. So no one saw the new workflow. Ooh, this is gonna be good.
Raquel.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm so brand new. You don't even understand. I mean, but
New.
but I haven't. So I'm not in the. Well, maybe I'm in the community, and maybe I'm not. I just know that I'm brand new.
Okay.
Last night I signed up. I've been trying to sign up. I've had actually. You guys have been on my radar for a while, but I have had login issues, and as soon as they let me in, I was at it. So, I'm my first client.
Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. That's where the money's at.
Right. I'm already in the CRM or the system, and I went through the training that's already built in. So to answer your question, I may have seen the workflow if it was recently put there, because a lot of it was I believe it was old and new information to help me navigate through. So it had the workflow as far as the red, blue, black, and white. I'm not sure if that's it, but
well, that's one, and I'm glad you got that. So now that we're talking about that, did you download the workflow that's at the top of the training? So guys that are new, did you download the workflow that's at the top of the training section? Did you download this?
I did not. I just watched the one. I just took.
You just watched the video.
Yeah.
That's okay. So that is really good. First of all, welcome to my wonderful home. Literally. We are going to dive in together, and since you are your first client, so this room is a nice little mixture. So this room will have some people who are doing credit repair for themselves and their family, such as the community. So the community, JM did drop. I'm going to make sure that we drop it again so that you can see it. This is what the community looks like. There is a pro version and a standard community. I'm going to explain the difference between the pro and the regular in a moment. But the new flow actually was dropped in the community on yesterday. So anyone that was there, you would be able to go ahead and actually see it on the home screen. JM redropped it about 6 hours ago or 4 hours ago, because JM, again, my wonderful admin, dropped it in the flow. So this is actually not on the website as of yet. They're making it look pretty. So y'all are going to get our pretty faces, and it's just going to look, generic for now. Once it goes onto the site, you will be able to go ahead and actually see it all pretty, but we're going to dive into it. We're actually going to drop it here in the chat as well once we get to that portion. But I'm going to walk you through how the system works. We're going to talk about, with you being brand new to the software, how new are you to credit repairs? Are you literally just starting from the ground level?
No, I know a lot about credit repair. I have a couple of businesses, and cleaned up my credit by paying some other people, then learn to do a little bit of it myself. And this, I'm in a community, recession proof, and they talk about this all the time, and I'm just like, stop it, Jason, just get on this thing. And because I just do it the old way, and that's just a lot, and that's laborious for me. If I have a few businesses, and I can't do it all, so I'm just like, I got to get on this thing and start doing it this
Absolutely. See, so I love that. So we're going to start from the top. We're going to walk through the platform. I'm going to give you some necessary tips that you guys need, and then once we get everyone loaded in the system, we are actually going to go ahead and have an open QA session. So if anyone has questions, concerns, comments, I'm very transparent. Yes, I've been doing credit repair on and off for about 19 years. But what I don't know, I have an amazing support system of vets that are active, that are coaching and really in the mud that I can get answers from. So if I'm stumped, I definitely go to my team and I bring it back to y'all. So we are here Mondays and Wednesdays. Normally it's onboarding. After the onboarding process, we open the floor for us to dive in. And I'm super duper excited that you're here, Jason. So hang tight. We're going to get into it. Thank you for showing your wonderful face. Okay. And we are going to make sure that you get everything you need at the end of this call. All right. So thank you so much. James, I saw that you said nope. So nope, you don't have the software. Nope, you're not loaded in. What's the nope? Because you're not talk too much. What's the nope, James?
Good evening. How you doing?
I'm great.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm new to the Panda community.
Okay.
I saw a couple of things, I guess, on like TikTok. And I bumped into this somehow and wanted to know some more information, more mainly about like your cloud and how like it works for like your business, or how like I guess like how what your client portal looks like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So those are great questions. So let me start off, since we're gonna dive right on in, since everyone's coming in. I know there's more people loading in. Oh, we're doing a little high number today. Listen, if this was network TV, David, we be making some numbers today. Okay. Okay, David, we're making some numbers today. So we're actually gonna dive in and we're gonna talk about Dispute Panda, because Dispute Panda has two different levels of software. Okay, so with James's question, I think this is the great time for us to start at the beginning. So we're going to start with this is the homepage. So anyone who has not already done so, we are going to drop the Dispute Panda again in the chat. And this is where you would actually start from the beginning. So on this site, this is where you would log in if you need to log in. This is where you would sign up for free. But I'm going to talk about how this software is extremely different from most credit repair sites. So there are two credit repair software sites, rather. So there are two types of softwares when it comes to Dispute Panda. So the original Dispute Panda software is pay as you go, which means you have the actual software. It is free until you have to actually generate a tax. So you can have this software, you can load your client. So if you are doing it for yourself and your family, you can load yourself in there, you can load your family in there, and you are completely able to navigate these waters without any overhead. So if you're just telling your family, hey, I want you to pay me the cost to send the letters off, the cost for the envelope, and the cost for the ink, or y'all rotate who buys the ink every month, you can choose to do that, right? But the way that the software works is that it gives you the ability to go ahead and actually have this software for free. So the standard Dispute Panda that allows you to load the client in, generate the letters, upload the identification is 100% free. Okay. Once you upgrade to the actual pro option, that's when you have the client portal like James is talking about. So the pro option right now, we have it $1 for 14 days, and then it's $197 every month. And that option gives you the ability to have an interface where your clients have a secured portal for them to go ahead and send you messages. You can send them messages. Your contract is accessible, invoices can be generated, things of that nature. But if you do not plan on giving anyone access to log in or upload anything for you, this free option is literally all you need. Okay. Of course, with the pro, you can pay for it for a whole year. It's $1,970. You get 2 months for free, and you have streamline and automation for your credit repair operations that you need in service. Okay. So to James's point, in order for you to see the actual portal, you would have to go pro. It is not on this particular onboarding call. What I will do though, is I will get some photos so that the next call on Wednesday, which will be in Nashville, the next call on Wednesday, I will be able to go ahead and try and see if I can give you calls. If not this week, I'll make sure to get it in tow for next week. Okay, guys? So I wanted to go ahead and cover that. So pricing point, Dispute Panda is free, as long as you're using the version that does not have the secure client portal. If you upgrade to the secured client portal, then you do have the ability to pay $197, and then you are able to go ahead and turn on that feature and add your merchant services and all those great things. Okay. So I wanted to go ahead and let me start from the top. Let me start from the beginning. Before I dive into the software, one of the things that I love to cover, these 3 tabs are all for the pro clients. Because you guys are the standard clients that we're going to be reviewing today, I'm not going to dive into those 3 tabs right now. What I want to do is dive into the 2 tabs that I think are extremely important, whether you're pro or not, so that you're able to get the support that you need in real time. Okay, guys? So the first tab is training. I was just talking to Jason and I was like, hey guys, when you get in, he just said, I watched all the trading video. First of all, shout out to you, Jason. You're the real MVP. Your last name is Hall. My best friend's last name is Hall. That's why you come in here like, leave out of it. I understand. Okay. I definitely think that getting into the training tab and diving in, it breaks down how to upload, whether you're using Credit Dyno as a monitoring service, which I'm going to talk about the perks with that, or using another credit monitoring service. They show you how to do that. It also goes through what the tabs mean, how to load a client. So if you are not here to be spoken to by us, by myself and David, feel free to go ahead and click on this tab. It works all the time. But the number one thing that I've noticed that a lot of people miss is that at the beginning of the training module, before you even scroll down, it literally says Dispute Guide. So Dispute Panda was curated for the person that is looking to fix credit, but does not necessarily know all of the meat and potatoes for credit, right? So if you're not a consumer law expert, if you're not a factual disputing guru, okay, and I use that term loosely, y'all, this software gives you exactly what you need to dispute credit repair or do credit repair without having to feel stuck or stagnant in the process. Does that make sense? So if you are looking and trying to figure out, well, what do I do? How do I do it? What's going on? Once you download the option, let me go here. Once you click that option, you will actually have a flow. So it's a little bit different in the sense of the flow is not subject to whether or not you need to be with one flow or another. One flow is not better than the other flow, although the flow that I'm going to be going over tonight is the most intricate, because it tells you how to dispute on the primary side for the actual 3 major credit bureaus. And it's going to be talking about how do you work the flow with the secondary bureaus as well, right? So it's literally going to be diving in meat and potatoes, showing you how to do it. Any one of these attacks work well. I like to tell everyone that when I started doing credit repair with this software, I either chose the blue attack or the red attack, because the blue attack was more efficient. The red attack was more effective. So if my client was coming in and was like, I need you to work, I'd be like, all right, I need you to pay. Now, let's get it. We can all make this happen, right? I would pick, when I look at their report, depending on when they were looking to get certain things resolved. Are you going to be able to be in my program for 6 months or 12 months? Is this something that's going to be an 18-month window, right? Like, I wanted to make sure that I was using the latest cutting verbiage for my clients. Now, unlike other softwares where it's a template form and everyone's letter is the same, although the flow is the same, the verbiage isn't, because it's subject to what the client is actually having on their report. So if you are the client, and I definitely recommend everyone, if you are new to these credit streets, before you take on a client, you need to take yourself on first. I will always tell you that, because that way you have the ability to educate your client, and there's going to be some tips and tricks that I'm going to give you guys along the way that you will be able to go ahead and really dive in and tell them what they need to know, because you have already experienced it. So even if your credit score is a 800, and I always use this story, my accountability partner, I call her my AP. My AP has like a high 7, almost 800 credit score. Okay. High. Okay. And when she started, I was like, so did you pull your credit? She was like, I don't need to pull my credit. I'm not late on anything. I was like, right. Did you pull your credit? And she was like, I don't need to pull my credit. I'm not late on anything. And I was like, so we're educating people that your credit report is the whole body, right? From the top where it has your personal information to the actual accounts to the inquiries, and you're still telling me about numbers. So how are you going to speak to the person that has no issues with numbers but still aren't able to get an account? Or how are you going to speak to the person that has high numbers, but they can't secure a job because their file has 5 or 6, 7 different addresses and it looks messy? It looks like they're chaotic, right? Like, how are you speaking to that person? And in that moment, she was like, I'm pulling my credit report today. When she pulled her credit report, she found that her name was spelled 7 different ways. 7 different ways. Now, her mama only named her one name. All right, y'all. Her mama gave her one name. It's on her social, it's on her birth certificate. But remember that people are writing this information in. They're typing it in based on what they hear. So sometimes they may miss the information. And that's why you want to make sure that you're looking at your client's account holistically, not, just subjectively. With that being said, I do see a message in here. I'm going to go back over here to the Dispute Panda software. Hang on a second. And we're going to click sign. Oh, wait, before we go there, I want to talk about the contacts. So our customer service team at Dispute Panda is 24/7, 7 days a week. I am not, okay, because I'm stalking my husband. But for those of you that need help at a late night, you are able to go ahead and get support. So if it is client specific, like you're having a hard time uploading something and it's for client Teresa Manning, okay, you can go ahead and plug the client's name. You put your name into the software. You're going to let them know what the situation is. Is it a document that you're having a problem with, or a round, also known as a TAC, that you're having a problem with? Whatever the issue is, if it's not on the list, you just click other and you type the information out. Someone at customer service within Dispute Panda will reply back to you. Again, they are there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay. Now, as far as if you have general questions, like you're like, oh, I have a TV show and I want you on it, or I want to do a partnership, or I want to be a part of your beta testing when you are looking to launch your next series of attacks, you can go ahead and plug this in, let them know what you're interested in, and the team will definitely follow up with you via email. And again, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I like to cover these 3 tabs because I feel like it gives you the gist of what's going on with the Dispute Panda software. So now we are going to dive in to sign up. I did see that James had a question. It looks like James is not here, but just in case he watches the replay on the YouTube, I wanted to go ahead and tell James. James said, if possible, can someone reach out, because I'm trying to decide between this and Credit Cloud. So James, whenever you're ready, if hopefully you see this, I definitely would love to know what questions you have between the two, but you can definitely reach out to customer service as well and have a good dialogue. JM, if you can write that name down for me and just send me a ping real quick. I want to make sure that we can reach out if there's anything that's needed. All right. So with that being said, we are going to get started to this party today. Okay. So we are going to start with the sign up. All right. So one of the things that I want to talk about is that this software makes it easier for you to do business, but I want to talk about some key things that you need to do if you are going to be a customer in the platform. When you are signing up for credit repair in the software, what you want to make sure that is, so this portal right here that we're logging into is you actually logging in and signing up for the system itself. So for instance, if you have a business, like my business is Evolving Eve, you want to go ahead and make sure that if you have a business name, you use a business name. If you don't, it is not required. But you want to make sure that you're using one specific email for the software. This email is what you're going to use to actually log in. Okay, guys? However, you need to have a separate email as a client. So for instance, if you are using, for instance, my name is Raquel May David, right? So if I'm using May Raquel David at Gmail as my sign on for the actual system, I cannot use that as a client. So I would have to go in and make another email or use another email that I have as a client to be in the software, because it will kick you out and tell you that you can't have both. All right, so gmail.com. I gotta remember these emails now, y'all. Okay. So what I want you to do is, for everyone that is at their computer right now, please go ahead and sign up. This information, I'm gonna tell y'all I'm nosy. So I want to know about perks. I want to know about where discounts. I need to know about everything. Okay. So I do personally put down that I want to get promotions and special offers because I like free things. All right. I like to say I have 4 kids, y'all. I like free things. Okay. Because they eat a lot. I don't, but they do. Okay. So you want to make sure that you're good to go there. So I do sign up for the special perks. You do not have to. It's completely up to you what you guys choose to do. But you want to make sure that the email, which is the most important part, is not the same as the one that you're going to use as a client. Once you click sign up, the system is going to go ahead and log you in, and it's going to give you this wonderful business agreement. This business agreement is going to tell you exactly what you're expected to do as a Dispute Panda person, what we are expected to do as users on the software. And I'm not going to go through all of it, but I will go ahead and tell you that you can go ahead and look at this after you have signed up. I'm personally going to click on it and go to the next step. Okay. Now, you guys can get back to the terms and conditions. I'm going to dive in, but I want to make sure that I take a brief minute to go over the dashboard, and then I'm going to take you guys and talk to you about how you can do credit repair for free and still make passive income at the same time. Okay, because I like free and income. It works for me. So if you look at the screen, you guys will see that it says verify your email address. I'm not going to verify it at this present time. If you want to follow through with me, you do not have to verify it at the same time as well. Just make sure that within 24 to 48 hours, you guys come back and make sure you click that button so that the system knows that you are who you say you are and you're trying to be a beast in these credit streets. All right. So I'm going to go over here to the side. If you are wanting to move from the free platform, which is where you can load your clients, and you want to upgrade to the Dispute Panda Pro, you can literally go from the login screen, select update, fill out the information, and you are able to upgrade to the Panda Pro. Now, I want to tell you what are some things or some perks that you get with the Panda Pro. Number one, the Panda Pro does give you the secure client access portal, which is definitely amazing. It also gives you the ability that you can do the shared screen. So when you do updates with your clients, you're able to go ahead and post it to your social media of the improvements that have happened on your client's account. I'm also going to take you through on the side panel on the left over here, a couple of perks that are only available through the Pro. All right. One of the things that I want to also talk to you about is that when you are in the Pro community, you also get to meet with Dominique on Thursdays for the Dispute Panda Pro class. And it's actually the Credit Repair Business Blueprint. It's the CRBB, where you have an on-demand program that you get to watch that talk about mindset, how you're working, different things that you need to do. And then it has some amazing special offers in there. But most importantly, you are able to go ahead and meet with Dominique to go over what options or any questions that you may have about the business of doing credit. And maybe if you have some additional insight questions that you have, you're able to come into that room and actually have a really dope dialogue with him. So if you guys want to take that in, that's also an option. And the Dispute Panda Pro has their own exclusive community as well, just for Panda Pro users that are able to go ahead and have a little deeper conversation. And there's a lot of activity over there. So that is one thing that I talk about. I'm actually going to start pointing out some other things as we go over the left panel that is only included in the Pro feature. All right. So I'm going to pause right there, and then I'm going to go into Credit Dino, and we're going to talk about how we can utilize this software and make money at the same time. So Credit Dino is the ability for you guys to pull your client's credit monitoring. You know, a lot of people use different softwares to do that. I'm going to tell you the perks of utilizing this software versus other credit monitoring softwares. And again, you can make up to $22. I'm going to actually take you to the main page so you can sign up here. If you do not have credit monitoring yourself, you want to go ahead and sign up and get it. If you do have credit monitoring yourself, then you're good, you're golden. Okay. But one of the things for Credit Dino is that once you have the Credit Dino software, the credit monitoring, it gives you a free round of attack for every single client that you have. So if you have all of your clients sign up for Credit Dino, instead of you paying $17 each round of attack, that round is completely free every 35 days for you to pull your clients' numbers. Now, Credit Dino is a little bit different because most credit monitoring sites only allow you to see your clients' reports for up to 2 years. So you only have a 2-year window. With Credit Dino, you have the full 7-year report. So you're able to educate them. And I'm going to take you through that when I load my test client in so that you can clearly see what it looks like, how you can have a full analysis conversation with them just with the Credit Dino software and just going over their basic numbers that they have. It is an amazing way for you to keep your overhead down while you're still allowing the system to learn how to actually, like the system, because Credit Dino and Dispute Panda speaks to each other, it actually looks at the system, and whenever there's a change, the algorithm changes, or there's a quicker response, or they see that a letter happened to help late payment specifically or charge off specifically, it's tracking all that information so that we can then create new flows that are effective and more efficient and more aggressive because of the two softwares speaking to each other, right? So with that being said, if you guys have not signed up for credit monitoring, if you want to use what you have, that's completely fine. But understand that the Credit Dino does give you a free round of attack. It does give you 7 years of your history. And then on top of that, when you're using Credit Dino, you can generate letters specifically to the credit bureaus and to the creditors. That is only a feature on the Pro level and once you have Credit Dino. If you do not have those two options, it's not going to work for you. So it gives you a more intensive way for you to attack your clients' rounds and make sure that you're being impactful, efficient, and you're helping the system learn more intensively, right? So before we go over to the side panels, any questions on what I've covered so far? If you do, you can come off mute, you can raise your hand, I'll pick on you, be like, hey you, hey you. If no questions, I'm gonna move on to the side. Let me go ahead and check. Nope, it looks like we're good. Okay. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand. I definitely love to speak to everyone. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and start with what's on this screen. So if you are looking for your client, there are two ways that you can find your clients. One is you can click on client up here. You do have to enter 3 characters, as you can see, in order to find your client. That's if you've already built a client. This main screen will give you a to-do list of what round has been sent out, if there's any missing documents, and if you are a pro member, it will have the birth date information for your client. So you can look like an amazing, wonderful, connected person with your clients, because you can send them a really dope message like, hey, from Evolving Eve, I want to go ahead and give you this information. And I want to also say happy birthday. I hope you're having a great day, right? So you can actually see all of this on the main page. Also, if you want to look for a new client, you can actually click on the client tab. If you are a company that is looking to import clients, you would click on the import button. If you are having an issue, because I want to put this out there, if you're having an issue, please go ahead and send a message to info@Dispute Panda. They will help you with importing clients if you are leaving one software to come over here, okay? If you are just looking to see what active clients you have or who you've made inactive, you're able to see that information on the screen. And if you want to add a new client, you can go there. So we are going to go ahead and go through add a new client in a moment, but I want to go ahead and go through all of the tabs, okay? The next option here are letters. So Dispute Panda also gives you the ability to go ahead and have the system mail out the letters for you. Now, I tell everyone in class, they're like, oh, do you like the system mailing it out? I'm a control freak. I'm the oldest child. Okay. My mother's Caribbean. I am Caribbean. I need to take it in. Plus, I have a 6-year-old bodyguard that comes with me to the post office, and he makes sure that my mail goes into the slot every Saturday. So I personally hand mail my stuff. I take it to the post office. But if you are looking for a little bit more freedom so that you don't have to be so restricted, the system does allow you to load enough funds on here that you can go ahead and have the system generate the letters for you. With that being said, there are some stipulations. So the mail only goes out Monday through Friday. If you are doing the letters, they have to be in the system and ready to be sent out by 12 p.m. That same day. If not, it goes out the next business day. Standard mail. So if you're sending it first class is just you putting a stamp on the envelope and you taking it to the post office, right? But you can also do certified mail. The software is connected to the USPS. So it does give you the ability to track the information once it is scanned. So we like to go ahead and give you as much connectivity and much freedom if you need. So if you're like, okay, I'm not paying for the round, can it do? Yes. So registered is certified mail in the software. So you can do certified mail or you can do regular mail. So if you decide that you just you have everyone on Credit Dino and you're willing to let the software mail everything out for you, Bob's your uncle. As long as you have the money in there, honey, you can do, and it gets out. Okay. And there will be a tracking number that will show up that lets you know that the letter has been sent by mail if you're doing certified mail. If you do not do certified mail, then you just know that it completes, it says mailed, and it will tell you the date and time. So Dexter, yes, you can do certified mail or you can do standard mail. Malik said, question, if I purchase Credit Dino, do you have to purchase Panda Pro in order to get the free attacks? So no, Panda, whether you have the standard Panda or you have the Panda Pro, either one of them, as long as you have Credit Dino, you will always be generated as long as the client keeps that monitoring service on, every 35 days, you get a free round of attack, period. So if you want to go pro, you can. If you want to stay free 99, okay, all right, you can stay free 99. It's definitely not a problem. So first class mail is standard mailing. Yes. So to Jason, yes. If you just go through the mail option, they're just sending standard mail. And I'll show you guys what it looks like once we load the client. I'm going to show you guys what the letters look like. So you'll be able to see which one you guys want to pick. Now, The inbox option is a pro feature. This is where your client can talk. You can speak to them. Y'all can have and dip and do, right? This is where you can have clear communications with them. If you do not choose the pro, this option will not be available to you. But again, the Dispute Panda and the Credit Dyno will still work for the standard Dispute Panda. I don't want to confuse anyone. The Credit Dyno credit monitoring software, as long as your client maintains it, you will be able to get a free round of attack. And it looks really yummy. So I'm going to show y'all what it looks like in a minute, so you'll have access to it. The reports tab is also a pro feature. I'm actually going to pull up a screenshot, y'all, so you can see what it looks like. Hang on one second. So this is what the report tab looks like. Tell me if you guys can see it, okay? Thumbs up, y'all can see it? Yes, no?
Yep.
Thanks, babe. Thanks,
Yeah.
okay. So thank you so much. See, interaction, I need y'all to interact with me, okay? I'm the oldest, I need attention, all right? Like, give me attention. All right, so this option gives you the ability for you to go ahead and actually see the progression. So you can see the overall progression for what your business numbers has done, how many increases you've gotten from one credit bureau to the next, how many deletions you've gotten, what is the total dollar amount. So a lot of times people get caught up and they're like, oh, only one thing got off. I had one client that they wanted to leave me, and I like to be transparent about like my business and my story. I had one client that definitely wanted to leave me. Like, she wanted to leave me bad. And I was like, cool, you can cancel it. I was like, let me just do an exit call so we can go over everything. And she was like, oh, my numbers haven't changed. And I went through and I told her, you started with these amount of inquiries. They were 13. We got it down to 10, but you added 10 more, right? Like, we had that conversation. Also, I was able to show her that we were able to delete over $300,000 of debt that was sitting on her credit report. So you're looking at the fact that the numbers haven't gone up, but you haven't been, right? Like, you have that conversation like, hey, so have you been paying your stuff down? Have you been leveraging the 30%? Have you been paying on time? Like, we've had a conversation once or twice where you were late, right? So you're able to give them the full picture of their credit report, because all of those things play a factor in whether or not their credit score stays high or if their credit scores dip. So I can write all the letters in the land. If you still not operating in the wonderful details that I provide you, you're still going to have poor scores because you're not playing the game to win. You come here to be able to win, right? So this gives you a whole overview, and there's a little share report button, and it actually ends up looking like this, y'all. So you can literally take this, download it on your phone, upload it to your social media, and be like, this is what I did for the month of November. Who messing with me? Who is messing with me? Who needs to sign up for a credit repair today? You can go ahead and use this as a social media buying link. Even if you just utilize this option and you just drop your Credit Dyno link and tell people to go ahead and sign up, right? You're giving them tools and you're showing them that you can do great things, all right? Dexter, we're going to talk about that in a second. We're going to cover how to remove previous addresses. So JM actually just dropped it that it is a static letter, and I want to make sure that you have context behind that so you know where to find it and how we can get it done. Jordan, I love it too, honey. Come on, Jordan. You know I love it too. Okay, so I love this report feature. It gives you some really cool social media share points that you can leverage. Also the subscription tab. So once you go to the pro option, you're able to make different plans for your clients and different subscription models for your clients. So if you want to have a done with you service where you're like, hey, you can't afford a done for you service, cool. Sign up for the Credit Dyno, right? Send me your username and password for Credit Dyno. Every month I'll generate the letters for you. I'll send the letters for you, and you send the letters out. So now they're able to see how many letters have to go out, right? They're able to see the level of work that you're doing. And a lot of times the done with you, right, service ends up transferring to the done for you service, because they're like, I don't want to send these stamps out. I don't want to send these letters out. I don't have stamps in my house. Like, it's not going to work, right? So you are able to set up those different options. Also, you're able to enable payment forms. So you are able to go ahead and collect exactly what you need from your clients. And we always talk merchant service options. So you're able to kind of curate that experience in under the subscription. So you can have different plans, different packages, and then have the payment form for your client to go ahead and log into their portal and give you that shmoney, honey. Okay. But as always, we want you to be able to get back into the software. So if you ever have a question while you're logged in, the training template will take you right back to the training site where you're able to go ahead and download the guide if you didn't, and you're able to watch the video. So if I'm not here, David's not here, JM is not modding, you can still get the answers you need in real time to support on whatever it is that you have going on, okay? So you have the training, and you also have the contact us tab that will allow you to do that. Now, I like to talk money because that's what we talk about. We're trying to make money. We're trying to help people get money, right? That's what we're here. I have Dispute Panda. I have Panda Pro. Just want to understand if Pro do all the letters for you, meaning it will target each client and do what it needs to be done. I want to dive into that question a little bit more. If you can hang tight, Michelle, I think it's Michelle. I want to go ahead and dive into that question more because I'm not quite sure if you mean, I want to make sure that I answer the question properly. So give me a second, let me go through this. And then right before we start the rounds of letters, we'll dive in and talk about that because I want to make sure that you have the right answer. But ideally, Panda, whether it's Panda Pro or standard Panda, they are generating and curating the letters specifically to what is on your client's credit report. It is individualized, even though, yes, you're working a flow, it's individualized because no two people are the same, even if you have bankruptcies, right? Everyone's bankruptcy is different. Everyone's child support issue is different. So we want to make sure that we're curating that experience from start to finish. So I'm going to dive into that question. Just hang tight. As a matter of fact, if you can put your hand up so that once we get to Q&A, you're the first person I pick, because that's a great question. So I like to start on the billing, and then we're going to go over to the left for the settings. I want to talk about this. So if you are on this software, I just said, if you use Credit Dino, your rounds of attacks are free. FREE, right? But if not, there's $17 per attack, right? So every month that you come in, you'd spend the $17 and you can purchase your amounts here. You can say, oh, I'm a big baller, I got a bunch of clients, I'm gonna put 2,000 on here. That will actually decrease the amount. So it goes from $17 to $12 per round, the cost of the round. So you can choose to do that. Or if you're a person that's doing this for yourself, we have found that when they looked through the system, there is our support team. They were able to see that most people were buying certain products. So they were either purchasing $20 or they were purchasing $60. So we offer a subscribe and save option that if you purchase $20, you put it on auto payment, right? It will go ahead and pull that $20 every single month, and it will gift you $30 for that for that month, or you can do $60 and it will gift you $90 for that month. Now, it's very important for you to understand that your credit card is supposed to go here. So if you're doing this as a business and you have friends and family, then you may not want to do the subscribe and save. You may want to just do the bulk option of just paying for what you need and putting your card on file. So you are able to add your card information. You want to acknowledge all the info, and you can actually save your card. So whenever it's time for you to, I like to call it re-up, renew, you know what I'm saying? Get some more, you can go in here and get what you need, okay? So you do have the ability to go ahead and either do the subscribe and save, where it's going to give you 50% bonus credit, or you can go ahead and flat out do a purchase and you're golden to go, all right? Now, over on this side, I want to dive into what the platform looks like. So one of the amazing perks is that you can add your pictures. You know, I love my pictures. I'll be taking some good pictures. But you can put your picture in here, you can put your name, put your phone number, and this way if you have the portal, your client will be able to see your information. If you don't have the portal, you do not have to add this. I promise you guys, it's definitely not mandatory. If you're doing this as a business, you can put your company logo in here, your website, your email address, your phone number. If you have a privacy policy, you can go ahead and drop it like it's hot right here, okay? Your business address and a contract. Oh, contract. So last week I was talking about the contract and I was like, Dominique, we need a contract in there, all right? And what was ending up happening is when we were having the conversation about contracts, I thought that it was already in the community. I went ahead and sent him a sample. So we should have a sample contract. Now I'm very transparent. I gave him my contract, which is in the state of Texas. If you guys are in a different state, you are going to want to know what has to be in your contract. My contract kind of mirrors one from Cali, because the coach that I had, she was from Cali, and Cali is very strict on credit repair. So I have a lot of things kind of in my credit contract that some people don't have, and I'm actually going to revamp it again. So that's what you're able to do there. But you can put your contract here, and then once it sends the client portal message to your client will have the ability to go ahead and access the actual contract to review. I'm going to pause real quick because I saw a message in the chat. I tried to upload myself with a free version and send myself the link, but got an error. Do I need the pro for a secured link, or is there another way? Mr. S, can you come off of mute real quick and tell me what you mean? I want to make sure. Unless he left. Did he leave? Hold on. Oh, damn.
Yes.
Oh, hey, my love.
Hello. I tried to send myself the secured link, and when I did that, it popped up an error. I did hear
Do you have the pro?
No, not yet. So it is okay. So I can't send this with without the secure link.
Yep.
How would I be able to upload myself on the free version, or can I do that?
So are you saying you want to onboard yourself? So you want to put your ID and all your information in there, correct? Is that what you're
Correct.
saying? Okay,
Yes.
so I'm going to take you through. So if you hang tight, I'm actually going to walk you through doing that today. But you only have the ability to send the link on the pro. If not, you have to physically take everything from the client and upload it yourself.
Okay.
Under the client tab, okay? So hang tight, we're going to dive into that in a few minutes. Great question. All right, so I want to go ahead and go to the dispute option. So sometimes when you guys are sending out letters, something that I like to say is be cognizant of if any letters are coming back to your client. So if your client's like, hey, you sent this letter out and I just got this letter back and it says that you used the wrong address for Experian, Equifax, whatever, you can come in here and actually change it. Now, please note that the credit bureaus have like 7 to 8 different addresses. So sometimes they try to be real cute and stop using one. No, ma'am. Of course, the post office will send you the information of what the updated address is if needed. It happens seldomly. Like I said, since I've done it, I've only had to switch once or twice maybe, but most of the time I've never had an issue. But if you do need to change the address, you're able to come here and change the address of where the mail is going to. So if they stop using 2000 for TransUnion, you can double back and say, okay, they're using 2001 now. Let me go ahead and update it so that all the letters go to that specific address. Okay, it takes you back to the billing. This is an invoice tab. Again, this is for pro users where you can see the statement, the invoices for your clients, and all of the beautiful things. The activity tab is telling you attacks that have gone out. If you've done mail, what it has cost you. And every round, like we said, every person that signs up for Credit Dyno has a free round of attack. So what that means is if you are loading yourself in and then you load your wife, but your wife is not on Credit Dyno, she's on something else, she can't use your free attack. That attack is person and login specific. So you would have to have the person that is actually paying for that Credit Dyno to go ahead and you would plug their information in and it's a one-click import. Oh my gosh, I love this. So you don't have to log into the credit monitoring, refresh the credit report. Nope, I'm going to show you guys where it's just a one-click import, and that's all you do. You come to this one software every single month, you click the one-click import. As long as your client has paid for that credit monitoring for that month, you are good to go. You get that free round of attack, okay? The integration, of course, allows you to allow the software to do additional things. So let's say you want to have a lead page on your website, or you want to have a lead page on your Instagram. You can have it where that lead page works. And then you can have Zapier connected, that when they fill out the lead, it automatically enters them into the software. You have a conversation with them, you collect all the documentation, and Bob's your uncle, you're good to go. So it does integrate with other softwares. Also, if you are a pro member, you do get Kong automation for free for 30 days. And then you get 20% off it. Kong automation allows you to do funnels, lead magnets, all of the things, and it's $99 a month. So I wanted to go ahead and also advise that as an option as it pertains to the integration and funnels. We also love to pay you for stuff. So for transparency, right now, there are no referral credits that are being given out in real time. However, I do suggest that if you have the platform, sign up for the Dispute Panda referral account, because come 2024, come on, somebody, they're going back to this, and they're wanting to make sure that everyone that wants to do credit has access to something that has a low and reasonable overhead for you. So with that being said, any questions on what I just took you guys through? Because we're about to dive in and sign up a client. So before we do that, if you guys have not already done so, I want you to go ahead and sign up for Credit Dino. I'm going to drop the link in the chat so you guys have the ability to sign up for Credit Dino before we get started. It is, if you're signing it up outside of your affiliate link, you get a free trial, and then it's $29. If you sign up with your affiliate link, you are paying $29 in real time. Thank you, JM. I told you, the best mod ever. So, Michelle, let me scroll back up to Michelle. Okay, cool. So if you guys have not yet, I want you guys to go ahead and sign up for the Credit Dino. We are going to go over here to the client, and we are going to click new client import. So for Mr. S that is in the group, he was asking about putting your own information in. We are about to deep sea dive into that right now, as my grandmother would say. Not my grandmother, my best friend grandmother, but y'all get what I'm saying. Y'all follow me down memory lane, okay? All right, so one thing that I want to point out here is that when you are loading the client in, personally, I like to make sure it's the first letter of everything is capitalized. That's how I like to do it. If the client has a middle name and is using the middle name, I will go ahead and plug the middle name in there. However, it is not something that is necessary, nor is the suffix necessary. However, a lot of times I get families, I get little communities, okay? So if I'm getting everybody in the community together and there's George Sr., George Jr., George III, I am going to go ahead and plug it in so that when I'm working that file, I know exactly whose file I'm working without any reservations, right? So you want to make sure that if they have a suffix, you are utilizing it. Just personally for me, it is not required though. If you look, there's no star. So if you choose not to use it, it is completely fine. Okay. Remember, I said the email address has to be different. Than the one you used when you created the account. You want to go ahead and plug in the phone number into the software, and then of course your client's last four of the social security number. Now, once you get down to the address, something that is very imperative is that you do not put all of the information on one line. The reason being is that when you try to do that, this information is directly pulled and generated onto the letters for your clients, okay? So you want to make sure if they live at 1415 Mockingbird Lane, that you have Mockingbird Lane then the city, then the state, then the zip code, okay? We're gonna go Queen. Texas, if anybody's here from Texas, hey y'all, hey, what we doing over here? Okay, and you gotta make sure you have the zip code in there and then the birthday. Now, if you had the pro, you would go ahead and click invite. It will automatically generate an email and send the email link to your client for them to upload their documentation. If they do not have, all right, come on, Miss S coming from Texas. If you do not have the pro, you would just simply click save, and it will automatically take you to this site. So if you pay attention, this attack is grayed out because we can't attack anything until we get all the necessary documentations in and until we actually are able to upload the credit report. So you don't want to start from the bottom. Y'all want to start from the top. Okay, we're going to start from the top. But you have to make sure you collect the right information from the client. So I like to share this wonderful screen, and I like to show it because I stole it from one of the training videos. I sure did. I had it, and I got a new computer. Y'all don't judge my life. Okay, so I lost it. So I went to the training module and I took a screenshot and I went ahead and copied this information so I could bring it to the class for you guys. Okay, so this is actually what you are going to need from your clients in order to go ahead and verify that they are who they say that they are. All right. So if your client for some reason comes in and they have a driver's license from Kentucky, but they now live in Maryland, you are not going to use that driver's license because the point is to get one address, one name, one date of birth, one social on that credit report. And you're wanting to remove the outdated information. Remember, the goal for credit repair is if it's out of date, if it's inaccurate, right, it then needs to be removed. It's not valid. Right? So if that address is no longer valid, you're going to collect a different piece of supporting documents to go ahead and support your client. The software requires you to have these two tabs pulled. So I have had people say, oh, well, if the driver's license is valid, it has the correct address, can I only use that? This software requires you to have both. If your client doesn't have a bill and you're like, the driver's license is accurate, you can double it and put it in there. I just like to be honest and say, this is the proper way to do it, is you want to have the ID, you want to have the proof of address, and then the supporting document is the social security number. So if your client doesn't have a valid driver's license or anything right now, but they do have their birth certificate or their passport, you can collect that information, load it in the software, and allow you to go ahead and support your client with their dream of credit wholeness. All right. Any questions on the documentation? Okay, so this slide is in how to add a client to Dispute Panda credit repair software and get a free attack. It's actually in all of the attack, I believe it's in all of the attack options under the training guide. Great question, Jordan. Yeah, so if you go to training, you'll be able to see this in any of the tabs, or if you want to steal a quick screenshot while we are on here, you could screenshot it and save it for later. All right, all right, all right. Come on, JM. Thank you, boo. Thank you, boo. Pulling up on me. Pull up on me. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys one of the things that I love about the software that I don't see in other softwares. And I have been with a couple. Not one name drop, but if you drop in the chat, I'll tell you if I've been with them or not. So with the software, it's kind of different because a lot of times clients will take a picture and they'll have like this long page behind, and I'm like, child, I just wanted your driver's license, honey. I just needed your one little license. It's this big. I ain't need all that, because again, my ink and my toner matters to me, right, y'all? So what I want to do is go ahead and make sure that I'm only utilizing what is necessary. Come on, JM, dropping it in the chat. Thank you, my love. So if you guys did not get to take a screenshot of it in the chat, what should you send with your round of attacks is actually in the chat section for you to download. All right. So if your client sends you a bill, sends you a document, and you don't need all this information, because again, it's none of their business as to what your client is paying for, all you need to do is crop out what you don't need. Again, the goal is to make sure that if you are using any bill, light bill, water bill, cable bill, you are getting an updated bill from your client every 90 days, okay? if you are specifically using a bill. So I would crop it all the way out to the date so that the credit bureau or the creditor, if I'm in the pro version and I'm using the creditor option, right, and I'm using my credit dyno, I'm able to go ahead and show them this is my valid address as of now. It's within that 90-day window, and I can crop and save. If for some reason I'm like, nah, I think I want more, you can literally just delete it and put it back in. So like when it's time for you to get a new bill, when it's time for you to update that document, you can literally just click the X. It completely comes out for you and you are officially good to go. All right. So you want to make sure all of these tabs are filled out. The driver's license goes here. Not much for me to crop out here because they didn't put it on a large piece of paper, so I don't have to zoom, right? But if I did, I can crop it and go. I would save. And then I also have a social security card that I can drop in for my client. Okay. So now I've gotten all of this updated into the system. Mr. S, were you able to see that clearly? Did you have any questions so far on uploading your stuff?
No, I did not.
Okay.
It's pretty self-explanatory. Where I guess without the free mode, I'm able to upload as long as I crop everything out, upload it, and I'll be able to proceed to the next step.
Yep. And the next step is uploading your credit report. So if you're using there are options in here. So you have Credit Dyno, you have Identity IQ, and you have My Score IQ, as well as Smart Credit. So if you are not using Credit Dyno, these are all the softwares that are compatible with the Dispute Panda software itself, where it can actually speak to each other and generate the appropriate letters. So this is where you would go ahead and start. And as you can see down here, how it says Credit Dyno one-click import. So if you're using any of these other credit monitoring services, you have to log into their site first, update the actual credit report, and then come in here. And then if you're using Identity IQ, you have to make sure that you save the PDF version. If you're using Smart Credit, there's a whole PDF that tells you that you have to do simple.htm with like question marks and all the other stuff that you have to go to log in. Okay. So I do want, what do I do when I find out a collection company? Yeah. Mistake. Okay, I'll definitely answer that question in the Q&A section. If you can go ahead and raise your hand, Rentman757, it would be greatly appreciated so I can make sure that you're after Miss Michelle. So you would go ahead and select the credit monitoring for your client, and I'm of course using Credit Dyno. I'm going to stop sharing, and then Michelle, while I am logging in, can you come off of mute and expound on the question that you had? I want to make sure that I answer all. That was juicy for me. I'll make sure I answer it all the way for you. So if you can come off of mute and go ahead and fully ask your question, since we're at the letter portion. Miss Fletcher, can you hear me okay? Let me see. Yeah, go ahead and come off mute, my love, so we can go ahead and have this wonderful convo. Oh, it looks like she's on the phone. Okay, no problem. No worries at all. No worries. Take your time. I'm going to go ahead and log in with my information for anyone who is doing the credit monitoring at the same time. Please go ahead and log in also, and I'll share my screen once I get the test client's information in, okay?
Okay, I am sorry.
No, you are fine, my love.
I had 3 people here and they were exiting, and then I had a client call. So hi everybody, sorry about that. So I am with Panda. I have quite a few questions and I don't want to tie a lot of people up. So I don't know if we can do a breakout room or what, because I have specific things to ask questions about. Love the software, not knowing, because I'm coming from Credit Hero.
Okay.
So just making sure I'm doing everything correct. And a lot about the subscriptions. I've got the authorized.net, haven't connected it. Really confused about how I transfer my website to add the payment, because I'm personally not getting paid right now for the month that I've been with Panda for now, I think 40 days.
Okay.
And their payments are not coming in right. And I applied for the authorized.net. I want to get the subscription part together so I can get paid. One. Two, the subscription part where they're transferring over. So it's a part where it says make a payment for monthly, but then it'll charge you one set fee, then a monthly fee. I just want to understand that because they've been paid. The clients have paid through the other account. So I don't want to, I don't want to charge them an initiation because they've been my clients for 3-4 months.
So you would set them a different payment form. So that's a pro question. So that type of question that you're needing, that would definitely be a conversation that you would go through the info at Dispute Panda, the customer service team, for them to kind of support you there if the videos are not helping you or if the training module doesn't give that information. If you want one-on-one support, I can go ahead and drop my booking link so you can go ahead and schedule time where we can go over it offline, because that's more of a pro question, not a standard question. Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense. And just so that's what I want to do, because I also emailed you last week and said, girl, help me. Yes, I did.
Did I send you a message? I never replied to you.
Michelle at bcwcredit.com.
Hold on. I'm
to
gonna
your
check
email.
Michelle at
on your website.
On my web. Okay, so you went straight to my website. So that went to my admin girl. Okay, that's why I like to drop my link. I'll make sure I check, but I normally drop my booking on there, and I'll also put my direct email address in here for you, so you can go ahead and get support right now. Hold on one second. Let me give that to you. But I didn't see that come through, and it still bounces to me. I don't see anything from.
Or do you have Michelle at bcw.agency?
Michelle. Sorry, y'all. Give me 1 second. Nope. I have a couple of Michelles that hit me up. I have a Brown. I have a bunch of people.
Michelle with one L.
Yep.
And then I don't know, but I got your website up on my screen. And then remember you said last meeting you would hook me up with the girl who did your website.
Yes. Yes. Yes, I know exactly who you are.
Let's go stop the show.
Yes, no. Go ahead. I just dropped my my support, and I'll make sure that I get my admin together to make sure it doesn't link. I appreciate for that update, because again, with growth, I have a new admin, so with growth, things do kind of slip. So I'm gonna make sure you have it. So definitely set that there, because Michelle Brown did reach out to me. I answered her. I was like, I answered a Michelle now. But yes, send that message. It'd be my pleasure to help. So the question that you had before was about, so pause before I move forward. So I want to make sure that I'm clear. You have been getting paid in the other system, and you're moving the clients over here.
And don't want to have an initiation payment and just set the subscription, but it only allows for authorized.net. So I've done that, connected, and it says it's not connecting. So I also have Square up, so it's not an option. So I'm just trying to have it all linked correct and do it correctly.
So I recommend, this is just me, y'all, giving y'all some good tea, okay? I personally recommend that when you are doing and you're having this type of issue, that you do a video with the request that you're sending to customer service. The reason that I'm saying to do that is because that gives you the ability for them to see what the error is, right? Because sometimes you telling them, they may not be able to physically see, like, why is this not working? Why is this not happening in real time? I always tell everyone to use Loom, Loom. I'll drop the link in a second for you guys to get it. It is a completely free. You can do up to 5 minutes of video if you want to, and you can actually see when the person has watched the video. I personally use Loom for my clients like recap call and stuff like that. That is something that I definitely use. It makes it easy for me to actually navigate the waters and be able to move in these streets, right? So if you guys have not done so, that I definitely think is a good idea for you to leverage when you're sending that in when it comes to the merchant service issue. Okay.
Okay.
I definitely think that's a great tool for you to leverage. So do the video, actually show them what's going on, because you are supposed to be able to make multiple subscriptions, and you'll also be able to make multiple payment forms. So when you're importing the client in from the other software, once you've already imported them, you'd be able to assign them the actual payment form that is specific to them for that month. So they wouldn't have to pay an enrollment fee then the month, they would just be on the regular billing flow. Does that make sense?
Oh, yes.
Thank you,
That makes
JM.
sense.
JM dropped it in the chat. So definitely do the Loom video so that they can see what the errors are or what the pushback is, so that they can fix whatever glitches on the back end, because they can visibly see it. Okay.
Okay, and I'll still talk to you offline. But other than that, I'm still learning little things, but great software. And
Yeah.
another thing, I noticed the letters when they're printed. Do you
Mhm.
have to sign them because it's not coming out?
I don't sign the letters.
Right,
Now,
I don't either.
Now, if you have the pro, your client normally signs the contract. That information that's on the contract normally translates to the letter.
Because I printed the letters for their attack and it didn't have a signature.
Did they sign the contract already, is my question.
No.
So there wouldn't be a signature on it because there's no signed contract. Because remember, the system talks to each other. Now, that doesn't mean you have to waste a letter. You can still send out that letter. I just want to be transparent that because there's no signed contract, that is why that signature is not on that documentation.
But will the credit bureaus take it?
I have had it where I didn't have a signature and they have taken it. Now, I don't run that risk every month. You follow what I'm saying? So since you've already seen it, you know this is month 1, I would send the information out to the client like, hey, just a quick reminder, please log in and sign your contract.
Okay.
Follow my
All
flow?
right. So I need to do that. And if you can go over the contract part again would be great. But go ahead. I won't hold nobody else up. Thank you.
No worries. And your question before, I just want to make sure that I dive in. I wanted to dive in on just a little bit deeper. You were saying to me, hold on one second, Michelle. I have Panda Pro, just want to understand if Panda Pro do letters for you, meaning it will target each client and do what it needs to do. Dive in what you mean by that.
There's just so many. My girlfriend is using another software, M2, and she's like, I don't even have to think. She just completely says needs to send out. And I said, I'm trying to tell her, well, we do the same thing. And
Absolutely.
completely, I don't have to do anything. I just let it do itself, everything. So I'm just saying, it was just a question that all the time she deals with another M2. So I don't know.
Yeah, so our software is very inquisitive. Like, it tells you exactly what you need to do. So I'm going to go to the documents, and then I'm going to, hold on. Let me stop sharing my screen because I want to make sure I don't share any personal information. Hang on one second. Document, disputing. Okay, we're going to go over to disputing, and I'm going to share screen. So you have the ability with this software. So I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. So right now, I've just imported a credit dyno credit report, right? And what ends up happening is the software tells me, hold on one second. If you look over here in this corner, it says I have a free round of attack. So my text client now has one free round of attack that I can leverage and utilize. This box pops up for you whenever you go and pull in your client's information, okay? So you have the ability to go ahead and see that you're going to get this free round of attack for your client. So you're going to go ahead and I'm going to close this out. You see it down here to confirm. Sometimes it will still show up that even after you have completed a round of dispute, it will still show up and say that they're still around there. It's not, child. It's not. I'm going to tell you right now. It's not. It's not there. It's gone. It's been used. It's bye-bye. Okay. So I don't want you to lose focus. Now, the system is intelligent based, that it's looking at the profile and it's saying, hey guys, these are all the accounts that I see should be attacked. These are all the things that are causing red flags and issues with the profile. Mr. S said, if it's family and friends, do I need a contract signed before sending out to the credit agencies? My recommendation is to have them still sign a contract or sign the letter so that it is easier for you to go ahead and operate, even if it's friends and family, so that they can see exactly what you are sending out on their behalf. If you're doing it as a company, the contract is all you need to be good. If you're just going to do the rounds, print it out and have them sign it, you can do that as well. Completely up to you. So the question in the chat is, does a goodwill static letter add an address for you? So all of the general letters that we have, which we're going to go into in a minute, will have a personal information, which includes address, name, cleanup on there. So I'm going to take you through the actual flow of letters and I'm going to take you through the software. Give me 1 second. I'll open the floor for the questions of the chat. Okay. Of the letter frequency. So this is what the report looks like for the client, okay? So when we are looking at this profile, you see how it has the yellow? The yellow is here because the system is saying, hey, we know that this needs to be disputed, but we want you to confirm that we should go ahead and dispute this for the client. There can be several reasons. So when you click on the little eye over here, you'll be able to have an in-depth conversation. This is where the analysis conversation comes in with your client, where you can actually talk to them about different things. So number one, you're looking at the account. You can have a conversation if the account is closed or open. You can have the account of what's the high balances, if this was a credit card, if it's a high balance or not, right? But you also have the ability to talk to them about payment history, which, as we know, payment history is over 192 points of your client's credit score. It is worth 35%. So if you're talking to your client and this system is registering and saying, wait a minute, we know this person has been late, because this little yellow icon is saying they're late, but we don't know if we should dispute it because it could affect their profile if we go ahead and dispute this. So what you might want to do is not have the box checked. So as you can see back here, this box isn't checked for you, right? Nothing is disputed. But when you go up here, you see how this person in collection is charged off. Okay. It's like, no, boo, we're gonna attack these today. This is like, hey, do you want to attack these? So you can elect to go ahead and say, yep, I'm going to attack these, but not now. I'm going to come back and do a goodwill letter. Or you can say, you know what? I looked at the profile. This is outside of a 24-month window. It's not affecting my client. If I go ahead and dispute it, I'm going to go ahead and dispute the profile. So the little yellow ones that you see is for you to do a little bit more deep sea dive because of the nature of that specific account. Organically, the system is going to go in with its smart, intelligent technology, and it's going to pick every charge off closed account that you have. Every single charge off closed account that you have, right? When it comes to the open accounts, it's going to look at it a little bit differently, especially if we're talking about credit cards. Now, what I like to talk about, like I showed you guys before, this particular tab, it gives you the ability to have a wholesome conversation with your client about what her payment history is, right? What their payment history is on the profile. And it does go credit bureau by bureau. So like TransUnion said you're 90%, right? This person says you're 60%, or whatever the case may be. You can have a holistic conversation with them. You can talk to them about the balances. It says you owe 4,823 over here, but another credit bureau might say that you don't owe that much, right? You can have that conversation that, hey, this is inaccurate. So we're going to go ahead and dispute this. Furthermore, you can have a conversation about credit health. We all know that utilization is over 160 points of the credit score. That is the second highest point. So I have people come on calls all the time. How do I help my clients increase their credit score quickly? Talk about payment history, talk about utilization. Those 2 points are worth, those two areas right there are worth over 400 points, like worth over 300 points, right? So why are we not discussing it? If you want to have impact, real impact, then even if you decrease your utilization by 10, 20%, you're going to look at your scores increasing, especially if you're making sure that you're paying your balances down on time, right? You can have this whole conversation with them and you can be like, hey, you're well over 100% of your utilization. That alone is not giving you the full 160 points. So how do you expect to make an 800 score? How do you expect to get out of the 500s if we're not tackling this? And now you guys can have a real conversation about, hey, this is a card that I need you to focus on because you're outside of your utilization range. Again, if this is open and active, we know this is closed. So it just looks bad, right? But I still would have the conversation with them and have them start flexing their muscles from here. All right. So the software will automatically check and highlight any negative items that are impacting your clients in a real way. If it is something that is outside of that 24-month window, or you need to do some extra legwork, it will always give you this little icon for you to know, hey, although this account contains late payments, removing it may affect your client due to how the account is being re-aged. It could re-age your client, it can remove the late payment, it can remove the account altogether. Have a real conversation if this is something that you want to have them impacted or not. Remember, age is the next highest rated score, which is 87% roughly of the credit score. Okay, so you don't want to remove something that's old. If you have a client that has an account that's been open, again, clear conversation. If this was an open account and this account had been open since, this says 2017, let's say they've had it since 2011 or they've had it since 1999, right? I'm not finna beef with these people if it's open and active right now. I'm gonna send a goodwill letter. I'm gonna send a message to the CEO, like, hey, big homie. Okay, don't say big homie, y'all. Don't say big homie. But be like, hey, I'm trying to buy this house. I'm trying to buy this. It's not working. Can you help me by removing this? Use the goodwill letter that's in the actual software and go ahead and send that to the CEO of the company. Generate that movement first before you go and do an attack, because what you don't want to do is do a standard round. The account gets completely deleted. Now you're re-aging the client. The payment history is gone. You're doing more damage. And the goal on credit repair is I want to do more good. Then my goal is not to do any harm. So I'm not going to be a guru. I'm not playing these games, right? I want to make sure that this is here. And I'm able to have this educated conversation with my client. So Jordan's question is, these credit letters are only in, these contract letters are only in pro. That is correct. You can put the contract in the free, but you are not able to send it to the client for them to sign it unless you have the pro offer. When downloading the credit dyno report, does it give you a PDF to drag and drop in Dispute Panda? You do not need to drag and drop, because as I showed before, there is a one-click import option. So if you are doing credit dyno and you go to the disputing tab, you do not have to import anything. You literally just click one-click import. You put the username, you put the select credit dyno, put the username and password, you click one-click import, and it automatically imports the information to you. So there's absolutely nothing you have to worry about. And JM, as always, pulled up with the video. Come on, somebody. Come on, JM. Come on with the good stuff. Okay. Now, I like to have this conversation because I know that there's veterans in the group, but I know that there's some newbies in here. So when we are talking about processing your client's profile, you do not want to attack an inquiry. So if you look, the system has not selected an inquiry option at all. The reason being is the system does not want to select anything for you because your client may not necessarily need you to do the inquiry, or you need to do a second look over to make sure that that inquiry is not attached to an open and active account. So when you're going through, you can do Command F. I'm old school, I like to scroll down, but if you type in the actual creditor's information, if it shows up at the bottom under the accounts tab, you don't select it, okay? If it does not show up at the bottom, so there's no open and active account, again, if the account is there, it's closed, I'm going to dispute it. If the account is not there, it's not open, it's not active, there's nothing that was generated, I'm going to click on it and I'm going to include it in the rounds of dispute for the letter round that I'm generating. Does that make sense? Oh, that makes sense. Any questions so far what I've done? Rent man, I see your hand up. Can you unmute for me and tell me what questions you have?
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, my love.
I was asking, when you find out that a collection company no longer, can't collect in your state, what is the next step to do?
I normally take that information, so I will screenshot it. I will go ahead and include it in a letter to go ahead and have it removed. That's normally when I will do personally, I've done a factual letter saying LVNV is not authorized to collect in my state. Here is the proof that they're not authorized to collect in my state. Please remove this off of my credit report.
Okay, and I'll just send
And
it to
you're
the
able
bureau.
to do that here. So if you want to, like, let's say it was somebody was collecting, LVNV was collecting on CarMax. I would come here, write that out, and then hit use template. And then when I go to generate the letter, it will generate that specific letter, not with the flow of the regular dispute attack round. It will just generate for that particular person this information. And if you have the pro, I'll be able to show you on the next screen where you can add that particular document, that PDF in there, so it can go together for you. Does that make sense?
Yes. Also, one more other question. On the Panda Pro, when I'm adding a team member, does it show that they're using Panda Pro, or does it just show my company?
So remember, your client is logging into this, your team member is logging into Dispute Panda. So they're already going to know that you're using Dispute Panda. You follow what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it's not going to be anything that you're hiding or being deceptive of, because the only way for them to log in is to go to disputepanda.com.
Correct.
Makes sense?
Right. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, my love. So to answer Ms. Fletcher's question, the contracts, if you go to organization, this is where you would put your contract or service agreement in. Whether it's pro or not, this is the same place that you would go in. And to Mr. Rentman 757, if you have a team member and you want to give them access to the platform, but not accessibility to make any real changes. So they're coming in and they're just doing disputes. So for instance, my daughter does my disputes for me. I'm going out of town this week. She's the one who's going to generate the letter. So when I come home this weekend, no one is missing the flow that's needed, and I can put everything in the mail like I'm supposed to. She has her own login. It costs nothing. So not like other softwares where if you have team members, you have to pay to play. You can add as many team members you need. And if you have different affiliate links, you can have it here. So when you turn on your client portal, you have the accessibility for your client to pick which credit monitoring software they like to use. So you would go back to the balance tab is the quickest way for you to get there. Click on organization, scroll down, and this is where your service contract would be. Answer your question, Ms. Fisher? Awesome. Did you have another question, Mr.
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes, you answered it. I just have to create my own. No template in here.
There's no template in here, but you do have fields. And I did go ahead and drop a contract with Dom this week. So we will have one up in the Dispute Panda community. So if you guys are not there, please, please, please make sure that you sign up there, because if you guys need it, it will be available and accessible for you there. Okay. Great question. Did you have another question, Rent-A-Man, before I move back to the client? Or are you good?
Yes, I do. last week we talked about the stall letter. Well, me and you had a conversation about the stall letter.
Mhm.
When I sent my stall letter, I didn't send the attack with it. I only sent the stall letter. So should I follow up or just still wait the 35 days?
Okay. So when did you send out the stall letter?
I probably sent it. I sent it in October. I want to say beginning of October.
So in that case, just go ahead and hang tight. The only thing is the purpose of the stall letter is to include that round of attack that you already sent to them that they ignored. So just
Okay.
make sure if you guys don't have an SOP, for y'all that may not, a standard operating procedure, everything that you're doing, I need you to go ahead and make sure you have that standard operating procedure written down. Because what that will do is help you with, okay, if a stall happens, I'm doing a stall and I'm resending the round that I originally sent. Because in essence, all you're doing with the stall letter is putting them a notice that, hey, according to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, that ain't even a concern. I done sent you this letter with my ID. Go ahead and dip and do what you're supposed to do, right?
Right.
So you want to make sure that those two are going. So if it's already been more than 14 days, go ahead and rock out and then send the next round. Send the next round. I would, to be safe and sorry, I would send the stall letter with the next round again.
Correct.
Follow what I'm saying? That way, when you're doing the next round, they have the stall, they have the attack of what they need to do, and it's bong bong, like get it done.
Right. Appreciate you. Thank you.
My pleasure, my love. My pleasure. Okay. Is the pro version a white label version with just my company's name? That is correct. So your client, when they hit the secure client portal, that is why it gives you an option to put the client, your actual company logo on there. They're not logging into Dispute Panda. So like to Mr. Rent's question is, hey, if I have an admin and they log into the software, will they be able to see this information that I'm using Dispute Panda? Yes, because they have to log into Dispute Panda to actually work the business. Your client, however, is just getting a secured portal. So your logo, if you have one, is there. If not, it just says welcome. It says secure client portal. It's basically a blank screen. And if you guys need me to, I will go ahead and get a screenshot. JM, I love you. Can you put that on the to-do note for me to get the screenshot? That would be so amazing. I'm gonna write it down too, but you know, I got sometimes. So screenshots of the client portal so that they can see it. It's going to be actually with just your information on it. So if you have no logo there, it's going to be plain. If you do have a logo there, your logo will appear for your client. So your client knows they're logging in with your stuff. How effective are the letters? I hear you talking about 4+ rounds of letters. So that is a great question. I think it's Lou. Again, everyone's profile is different. And depending on where your client is, your client might be with you for 6 months, 12 months, 18 months. The person that I've had with me the longest has been with me for 18 months. Their goal was different. Their goal actually changed during the process. So originally it was a home. After we secured the home, then it was the car. Then they wanted to build their credit, right? So all those things are going to shift. And because those goals shifted, they ended up staying a little bit longer. I had another client who had several bankruptcies, right? There were different things that we had to work out on the profile. So it's not a one and done. So I don't want anyone to get confused. And I like to be transparent and educate my clients. It didn't take you 30 days to get into this situation. It's not going to take you 30 days to get out of the situation. Okay. Great question. Great question. Give me 1 second. All right, cool beans. Let me tell you how JM don't be playing about me, y'all. Hold on. Let me find out my homie literally got what I need right now. Hold on. Let me see if this is what I need. Give me 1 second. Okay. Ooh, JM, you are the bestest. So this is what it would look like for your client. when you do the actual pro version. So it's not going to have Dispute Panda. As you can see, there's no Dispute Panda here. They would sign in. It will say safe client access. This is their dashboard. And then if your company information is already loaded, the website, the phone number, all of the things, my love, you will actually be able, your client will actually see that information. So as you can see, it doesn't say Dispute Panda. It has the ability that you can upload the information, and then it takes them through what they need to get completed in order for the profile to work. Does that make sense? Good. Any questions? All right. Thank you for that sample, client, my love. You are the bestest as always. All right, so we're gonna dive in now. We're gonna talk about disputing grounds. So we're gonna go to attack because we've already done. Wait, let me go back to disputing. Let me make sure. Let's go back to disputing. Okay, so I said I was gonna do one main for the client before I left because there's no one main account. That's what I'm going to select for my client. I'm going to hit save filter. If you do not hit save filter, the system does not know what it's going to dispute. It does not have an idea of what accounts they need to argue. What does the documents have to say? So you have to hit save. Now, this was the attack flow that I was using before, okay? I also dispute with the third party, party creditors, so to speak. So the LexisNexis, the Innovis, the ARS, the Credco, right? I was disputing with all of those people, but there was not a flow that was given for first timers that were coming in. This was just a standard flow on how you dispute with the actual credit bureaus. And that was kind of all you were disputing. Well, of course, as the system has gone on and we've gotten more people to come in, there were additional questions that people wanted to know, especially like, does it have to be in color? Should I do handwriting or not handwriting, right? So now this new attack flow, I'm so sorry, Ms. Fletcher, the contract is not up yet because they're making the edits to it. So the contract should be up either by Wednesday or before the end of this week. So you will have a sample contract that you guys can look at. My sample contract available for you to have. We sent it over to back office for them to make pretty to go up on the community. So we'll be there before the end of the week. Great questions. I love this. Okay, so the new flow actually educates you on how to dispute with the credit bureaus and when are you going to dispute and what letters you're going to dispute for the credit third-party companies. It still tells you whether or not it's going to be in color or not. A lot of these letters do not have to be in color anymore. And it tells you it's supposed to be double-sided versus single-sided, which does save you on ink, paper, and all of the wonderful things, okay? And it gives you the actual flow dates. So now when you're coming in, instead of where before we would have done the pinwheel if we were doing the red or we were doing the nerve attack, because of the beta testing and the information that we've been able to get before, we now know that the punch of fury super boosted to the creditor, the static letters to the third party creditors, and selecting the option of handwriting is actually amazing for you to do. And not only that, they included when should you go to the CFPB. So there's some people that want to do consumer law. It tells you you're not going to the CFPB until you get to around round 5. That's when you're going to go ahead and attack the CFPB if you choose to. I like to tell you, if y'all doing that for your client, that is an a la carte item that I give to my client that is not inclusive standardly, but he's giving you a flow where you can have it included. So when you're doing your price point, you can include that in your price point as well, right? So now you can be very informative. You can tell your clients from the beginning, at the month 5, this is what we're going to be executing. This is what you can look for in the mail. And now they won't feel overwhelmed during the process, okay? So they actually have a full flow that goes out. It tells you step by step what you need to do. And this will be uploaded to the software as soon as they make it pretty, because you know they always got to make it pretty for us. Okay, y'all. We did drop it in the chat, so you have accessibility to it right now. JM, can you drop it one more time for me in the chat for the people that just came in to have the new workflow? Again, a lot of these letters also do not have to go out certified. So unlike before, where every single round, every single type of attack had a certified, you don't necessarily need to do a certified at this present time. Okay, you can literally do all of your letters as first class with this new flow. All right, so I definitely love that. Any questions on the new attack with Credit Dyno? Thank you, JM. Oh, you got it directly with me. Hold on, let me go ahead and plug to everyone. If you are in the community, JM did drop this in the community for you guys to have as well, because we want to make sure that you're a beast in these credit streets. And we're going to talk about flow. So when you come over here, you get to pick an option. So one of the questions that were in the chat was, what about personal information? So if you would like to clean up personal information, please note that every single letter has your personal information at the beginning of the letter. So every single attack we send out, every single round, we are talking about, hey, y'all, stop playing with me. Okay, I live at 1415 Mockingbird Lane. Every other address is wrong. Move it. Okay, you have the ability to go ahead and do that. Now, what you're able to do here is you can go into the system, and if you want to, you can go ahead and do a personal information letter. Mr. Rent was talking about the stall letter. So the stall letter is in the event you send out a round of attack, and TransUnion, who is lovely for doing this, goes, we applaud you for trying to fix your credit report. It seems that you might be using a third-party service. We want to make sure that you're aware that you're using this third-party service. There's nothing against the law that says that you cannot utilize a third-party service. There's nothing that says that they cannot dispute your profile if you're choosing to use a third-party service. The stall letter actually uses the code in the law that says you are supposed to utilize my attack. So in that particular situation, you would click this option, and then you would tell the system the last date that that letter was sent out for dispute, and then you would upload it. If you have Pro, you can upload it, so when the letters get printed, it all printed out together as one flow to go out and make it easier for you and your client. Okay, so you can have that conversation and educate your client. If you do not need to do the stall letter, but you want to do a pay per delete because a creditor is saying, listen, if you pay me $200, I'll delete it off your profile. Bet, let me come in here and put this letter in. I want to make sure that if I pay you, you're going to delete this debt per our agreement, right? So you're able to go ahead and select different options that best fit what you're looking for your client. If you only need to go ahead and do if you only need to do just a stall letter, or if you need to send letters, as you can see right now, there are different letters that you're going to be sending out to the creditors. You have the option to select it. So based on this new flow, it says the round that we're going to be picking is the Punch of Fury Super Boosted. So I would first come here. So you're going to start with the attack round first. So I'm going to come to Fist of Fury. I'm going to hit Supreme Boosted. I'm going to do handwritten because the software says we're going to select handwritten. Okay. It does not need to go out certified mail. It's going out first class. And I do have the ability to double side it. Now, if this person was Credit Dyno and I had Pro, I would also click Generate Credit Letter. Okay. I would hit that as well. Then after I do that, okay, that's already selected from my clients. Then after I do that, I would come back and do the static letters as well. And I would go ahead and select the static letter for my client for me to go ahead and attack that round. What made you know which color attack would be best fit for you and your client? So the options for me when I was looking at the dispute flow, that's a great question, Jordan, was these two didn't say effective or efficient. They weren't giving me any guidance. Now, I did watch the training video where Dominique said, hey, all these flows work well, just pick a flow and work with it. However, I work in an industry outside of, I help people with insurance and licensing and understanding. And I was like, people want effective or they want efficient. Those are the two things that they want. How can I give that to them in the credit space? So I personally chose the red attack because it was most effective, right? If I had a client that was staying with me a little bit longer, they may have had a little bit more charge off, but they had more time, then I would go ahead and switch over to the most efficient for that client. But any one of these flows work well. This has been the most recent update that includes how do you debate with the secondary companies as well. Okay, great question. I love that. So if I'm in the pro, I would go ahead, go back to the Punch of Fury. I'm going to go ahead and select it. I'm also going to select handwritten. I'm going to hit start. And if this was pro, all of the letters would generate together. Because we're not in pro, we're going to go ahead and just do the standard one. And I'm going to hit confirm. Hold on. This is to allow me to be able to, what's the verbiage I'm looking for? It allows me to go ahead and utilize the credit that I have in file to go ahead and do this round for my client, right? It normally takes about a minute or two. Sometimes it'll literally just pop up down here for me to go ahead and have that round, and I can download it if I'm choosing to download the letter, or I can mail it out. If I'm choosing mailing out, remember they're saying that this round does not have to be certified. It's first class and it's double-sided. So I can leave it double-sided. It does not have to be colored, and it is going first class. I'm only paying $15.06. So that has to be in my bucket in order for that to work. If not, I would switch it from first class to certified, and then it tells me it's going to cost me $70.77. I hit pay and mail, the system mails it out, and I get generated a code of confirmation that it's gone out. If not, I just do regular first class mail. It pulls it from my bucket, and Bob's your uncle. If y'all are a control freak like me, you click download all, you'll print it out, and you stamp it yourself. All right. This history tab gives you the information that says all of these are downloaded. If you would have selected the certified mail, it will give you a tracking number for you to have here. If not, if you're just sending out regular mail, it does give you a letter ID for you to know that the letter has been printed and generated to go out for you. The invoices are there, and this note option is also an option that's for the pro. So if you want to leave a note like, hey, I did the Punch of Fury. Let's say you're doing testing on different clients. So you're using the new flow, you're using the red flow on one client, you're using the blue flow on another client. You can go ahead and save all that information in the notes tab if you're on pro, so that you can track what's going on. I tell people all the time, if you're doing credit repair, you want to track what's working. Did the Fist of Fury work? What did it work on? Did it work on collections, or did it work on a repo? Did the Punch of Fury, did it work on a charge off? How many charge offs, right? All of that matters to me when I'm looking to make sure that I'm picking the right flow, because eventually I'm going to have a curated response just for me based on how I like to do business, what results I've gotten. If someone comes to me and they're like, listen, I have 3 collections, and I know that, okay, this flow was cool, but if I do Punch of Fury, then Round Kick, I normally get three collections off, right? You can curate your own flow, and you don't have to feel stagnant in the process. So I definitely want to give you guys that fun tip of this note tab and how you guys can maneuver. So if you guys have been with me, you have been able to load a client, do your first round of attack, and we looked at the new attack flow. What questions do you have? I'm going to open the floor for Q&A this time. What questions does anyone have?
Hello?
Yes.
Hi, so basically the attack flow is based on what was I gonna ask? The tax flow is based on like basically based on the way you're choosing to use what best fits for you to I mean the tax flow change the tax flow stays the same, but the verbiage always change, right?
Correct. So if I'm choosing the new flow and I'm doing Punch or Fury, I might choose everyone to do Punch or Fury, but their information is going to be curtailed based on what's on their specific credit report. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure. It says this new attack flow is for Dino only. Does it work for identity? It can work. So let me be clear. You can leverage it. It's just with Dino, you're able to send letters to the credit bureaus, the creditors, okay, which is the goal. So if you're looking at this flow, Credit Dino has the ability that it can generate letters for the credit TERS, which means Capital One, Bank of America, Chase, right? It can create letters specifically for them. So the goal is you're going to generate this round. It's going to be going to the creditors. It's going to be going to the credit bureau. And then you're also doing a static letter. Great question. So can you use the flow? You can, but you won't be able to do the creditor letters if you're using a different software. Any other questions? Maybe. Well, this is good. This is good. No one else has anything? Michelle, you have any other questions you want to ask, or Jason?
I was gonna ask is the oh man, I keep forgetting my question. Okay, 1 second, I'll be right back.
No problem, my love. I'm here. What questions do you have, Miss Fletcher?
I'm just gonna say I don't want to hold people up. I got quite a few. So it's not really. I feel like this needs to, because I've made my mind to deal with Credit Dino and Dispute Panda. So what I need to do is do a one-on-one, like a Zoom, if possible. I don't know, but really to get in depth with one-on-one.
Okay.
So that's what I want to do, because it's a few things, like you say, the credit. I've shot off 10 people's credit to the credit bureaus, but I didn't send anything off to the creditor. So being effective and seeing, should I wait for those rounds to come back, or should I shoot them both to the credit, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, and then the creditor, or wait till those come back?
I would suggest to wait for them to come back, and then you can start the next flow accordingly. So you don't have to feel overwhelmed. You did the flow based on, if you were using this previous attack, remember, it didn't give you information on how to dispute with the secondaries or to use the creditors, right? So you're fine. You don't have to you don't have to worry about that at all in real time. But once you go to the next round, if you're switching to this new attack, then you want to go ahead and start from the top and then work your way down.
From attack 1 to, like for a new client, just follow attack 1 to.
You got it.
Okay. And the contract is not in this pack you just gave me.
Well, what I advised is that the contract is being edited so that it can go into the community site, so everyone will have access to it.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So it's not available as of yet. I just went ahead and sent one. JM actually dropped a sample one. So I want to be very transparent. Your contract is subject to your state. Okay. So you want to be very careful that even if you are utilizing one of the ones that we're providing you, that you're making sure that all the information that's in there is available to and appropriate for your specific state. Does that make sense?
Yes. So do I just Google that?
You can choose to Google it. I'm going to drop one in the chat so that you guys can leverage. And then if you guys have legal counsel, or you can go down to your state site. I know that the state actually looked over my contract. I have a friend who sends it into errors and omission to make sure that it's valid, but you want to make sure that all of the verbiage specific to your state is in there.
Got you. Okay.
Got it? All
I
right.
got it. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, my love. Hey, Jason, you're up next, and then Red Man. What questions do you have?
I think I was a little overzealous last night. When I did my first attack, I guess it was just late at night, and I thought first class was first. I don't know. I thought I was following the red
You did this one?
strategy. Yeah.
Oh, okay, you did
The
this one?
that was in the one that was in the training.
Okay. So you did the red one. That's okay. So you did do pinwheel, you did super boosted, but you didn't do it certified. You did it first class.
Right. And then while we were talking tonight, I was like, oh no. And I wasn't even sure if I mailed it out because it didn't have any stamps or whatever, but you were still talking and I was trying to glean. And I was just like, I'm about to do it over. So I did it over, and I bought some more credits, and I blasted again, but it was certified. And I was just like, that'll do it. And I don't know.
So if it already went out, I definitely would tell you to don't rush. Like when you guys are going through the training, if you already sent out a round of letters, allow that 35-day window to go through. I personally allow 40 days because it's 5 days for it to get to you, 30 days for you to process, 5 days for you to get back to my client. If you're overzealous and they send it back to me early, well, thank you, Jesus, when we do it. If they don't, it's okay, right? Because here's the thing, the law says that if you send another, according to how it's written, if you send another letter before that window of that 30 days for them to process, they have an additional 15 days to go ahead and review your profile. So what you don't want to do is bombard them, because if you're sending 2 different letters, you're running the risk of one looking. So with your case, with your saying that you send the same type of letter, you're kind of okay. It just looks like you duplicated them. Does that make sense? But if you would have done pinwheel and then round attack, it looks like, oh, wait a minute, they're trying to be frivolous, or they want us to do this detail, and now we get more time to process the letters.
Right.
All right. So no
Yeah,
worries at all.
sense.
Since you use the same one, you're good to go.
Okay. I'll chill.
Awesome.
And for him saying that, it just brought me to my stuff I did. And I sent out the first ones. I went back to look, and I'm looking at yours just so that you know, I sent out Round Kick Supreme Boost. Was that right?
Well, I don't see a round kick as round 1. So you created your own flow. That's why it was very important that when you guys go to the training, you go to the top so you have a flow. So now what I'm going to tell you is, when that first round comes back and you're looking through your client's file, track and see what you were able to get off, and then pick a flow and work the flow.
Right. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense now that I'm reading this. Right.
Yeah. And again, if this new flow is going to come up here, it's going to be uploaded here. So you'll be able to go ahead and see this new one. So your next round will be Punch of Fury anyway.
Gotcha.
You follow me? Yeah. If you're using the new round as because you're saying you have credit dyno for all your clients and all of the things.
Gotcha.
All right. Okay, my love. Thank you. Hold on. Let me go to Red Man. Hey, Red Man. What's up? How you doing? How you living? Ooh, don't time out, Jesus. Don't do it. Rent Man, you ready for your question, or do you want me to move to Jordan? Because Jordan says he remembers.
I'm here.
Okay, okay. What question you got, boo?
So if I have a client that has something on their account, but they didn't do it, how do I go about that?
What do you mean by they didn't do it? Let's elaborate. Let's talk about it.
So it's a phone. Somebody got some phones in her name, and she has a phone company, and she says she never opened that phone company. So how do I go about getting it off? But it's on her credit.
So let me clarify. Is she saying that her identity was stolen? Because if she's saying her identity is stolen, then she has to process the stolen identity information herself. If that's not the case, you could literally pick a flow and work the flow for that particular account.
I think her identity was stolen.
If her identity was stolen, then there's a separate process that you would have to go through that's not included here. I did drop my link. If you want to have the conversation, you can go ahead and book a call with me for us to go over what that process looks like, because that's completely separate.
Okay.
And your client has to be the one. I'm going to be transparent. Are there people that do it for their clients? Absolutely. I do not tell anyone to do that for their client. I tell them to have the client go through the process themselves, because legally that is what is supposed to be done if identity theft is completed. Does that make sense? So
Correct.
they're supposed to file, they can file a police report. They can go ahead and report the identity theft on site for them to go ahead and get support on that specific account that they're saying is not theirs. But if it's not an identity theft issue, or like it's something that she may not remember, I still would say to go ahead and do a standard dispute on the process.
Okay. Thank you.
My pleasure, my love. Great question. Jordan, what I said, you remember, honey, what you remember? Let's talk about it.
All right, so I wanted to ask, I don't have to remember with this software the FDCPA laws or the FCRA laws?
Not unless you're looking to make your own letter. So let's say this particular person, this particular account, you want to do an FCPC, or you want to do all of those things, you can come in here and you can put the codes and plug it in, and that account will be drafted with just a consumer law. But if you're allowing the system to use the artificial technology to leverage, you don't have to do that, because the software does it for you.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure, love. Great question. Ms. Fletcher, you have another question for me?
Yes, I have a client that I'm actually scared to take. She has 9 cars on her credit that are all in repo status and like are charged off. I mean, what is the likelihood? She said she tried to do, I guess, that Toro business and it didn't work, and it bellied up her credit. Do you recommend for me to take that? Because I mean, I told her I would get back to her, but that's her biggest thing. She had A1 credit, had Toro, bellied up, couldn't pay everything, and everything is just charged off, all 9 cars.
So I'm going to be transparent in how I do business. Okay. Number one, there's no guarantees that I make in the software, because I can't tell you what's going to come off and what's going to stay. Right? There's no guarantee in this business. Number two, you can elect to have that clear conversation with her. Like, hey, we can go ahead and go through the process. These are the other things that I see on your profile that we're going to dispute. Remember, depending on how recent this issue is, there might be
a year and a half ago.
Okay, so like it might be a little difficult. Also, one of the things that I normally do if we're talking about a repo or anything of that nature is I send a surplus letter. And that letter is like a surplus/deficiency letter that says, hey, you guys repoed this vehicle. I want to know how much you sold it for and what the balance is. And it's a very like soft letter that just kind of says, hey, this is my account number, this is my name, you guys took this car, I need to know how much was paid, because it's possible that that car has been paid off by the person who now purchased it, right? Okay. But you have to determine, is that something that you want to handle in real time or not? Because if that's not something that you want to dive in, like, hey, you might want to have the conversation that says, I have no problem sticking with you. My contract is for 6 months. We can see how much we're able to move within that 6-month window and how we can resolve, right? Are you also open to have a settlement conversation with them to try and resolve it that way as well? Like, have an open line of communication, and then that way they know that you're working for them, not just trying to take their money.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
My pleasure. Lou 6454, is that right? What questions did you have, my love?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, I had the one that what is going to be taught in your Wednesday class?
Say that again. I'm sorry, repeat that for
What
me.
is going to be taught in your Wednesday class?
Wednesday is the same thing as this. We go through onboarding and we go through onboarding, we do the first round of attack, and then we open the floor for any questions that anyone may have. So Monday and Wednesday, we do the same thing. Thursday is pro night with Dominique, where you guys get to ask one-on-one questions with him.
Okay, thank you.
My pleasure. Great question. Any other questions, guys? I know it's in the late hours. Okay. Hey, Raquel, have to log off soon, but wanted to say, oh, thank you. We'll switch over from another platform and book a session with you. No problem. It is my pleasure to go ahead and help. As you guys know, Wednesday, I will be, so in order for you to get the link for Thursday class, you have to be in Dispute Panda Pro. That link will go out to you in the Dispute Panda Pro class if you are in Thursday. So Thursday specifically Dispute Panda Pro people for us to dip and do. What was I about to say? Oh, Wednesday I will be in Nashville. So you guys bear with me. I am taking my me fee. Okay. And we're going to be in the hotel and we're going to be talking. All right. So if you guys have questions, comments, concerns, understand that we're going to be over there. And we're going to have a good time. I might be, just wrapping up eating some good Tennessee food. Okay. But I am definitely looking forward to dipping and doing with you guys on Wednesday. If you guys have any additional questions, please let me know. My calendar is closed for this week because I am going to Nashville. So if you guys need any one-on-one sessions or any group sessions, that is an option, but it will not be available until the following week. Other than that, any other questions that you guys have on the software before I let you guys go be great for the rest of the night? Any questions? Jason, thank you so much for rocking with me and bringing your questions and being transparent. Everyone else that came on, thank you so much for coming into the room and allowing myself, David, and JM to support you. As always, I'm not going to say it again, but I will say one more time. Do not sleep on the Dispute Panda Pro community. A bunch of people always are like, oh, what's the Facebook group? We don't have one. We got a community. And this way we can put everything that we need. We can ask clarifying questions. You can get support. And if you want to message me, you have the ability to go ahead and drop me a line in the community. So, excuse me, please take the time to go ahead and sign up for the community. Moses, as always, I appreciate you coming. It is my pleasure to support. And if you guys need anything, please feel free to let me know. We did drop a couple of links over here in the chat. So if you guys were here and missed any, community is a must. So that you can have a great team to support you. As you can see, when it gets to the CFPB, which is actually down here in month 5, they're already talking about it in the software of what you need to know. Excuse me, what's an example, so on and so forth, so you don't have to feel stranded and alone. If you have questions and we are not here and customer service is a little bit long, please know there's going to be someone here that'll be able to support you in real time to go ahead and be a beast in these credit streets. So if there are no other questions, I'm going to give you back the rest of your night. If you think of any questions, we'll be back on Wednesday. I'll probably have new hair. Don't judge my life. Okay, y'all. But I appreciate you guys being so amazing. Thank you for coming in. And don't forget, sample contracts are in the chat. The link for the credit dyno is in the chat. The link for Dispute Pandas in the chat. And remember, go to training. At the very top, you're going to click free download and you're going to work a flow that you see. If you choose to go off on the unbeaten path, make sure you're ready to track your success in real time. All right. So thanks for being amazing. David, JM, y'all are the best. Love you guys for real. Thanks for coming in. Bye. Stop recording.